Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji.
I'm actually really nervous right now. Last 1.5, 2 hours have been so busy, I didn't even get to think what I would be saying here. But thank you, Guruji, for giving this opportunity. It's a big blessing. Standing here, you know, it always makes me nervous. Guruji की जितनी उत्सुक की जाए, उतनी कम है. But I will try to share some of our journey rather, and you know, some snippets of what we have experienced during that journey. We started going to Guruji's temple, I think December 2016. Guruji did try to call us before that, I think 2012 or 13. You know, Vikas uncle told us about Guruji, Jyosna aunty told us about Guruji, but that was not our time. 2013, we just completely ignored it. And Vikas uncle being my classmate, he tried to convince me, but I was not ready. I'm like, I'm not going at such place. And we went back to India 2 years, and then, you know, we came back 2016. She was going through, 15 we came back, 2016 she was going through some rough patch. And then Shruti aunty told her to, you know, come to Guruji's temple. I'm taking names of few of the people because they always say that whosoever connected you to Guruji, you should thank them first. So I do want to thank, you know, Vikas uncle, Jyosna aunty, Shruti for connecting us to Guruji. It has been a journey after that. And, you know, since we have been connected, it has been 7 years. And there is no looking back. I think the week is not complete if we are not here. We look forward to being here as much as possible. We try our best to be here as much as possible. Not that we didn't have a religious background, we always had a religious background. But coming here for the first time, now we feel connected. Connected in the sense there is someone whom we can ask for anything. There is someone who we can pay our regards to. There is someone who we can share our problems with, and he answers all your queries there. And the only one word, you know, which comes to our mind is gratitude. And we can have as much gratitude for him as much as possible, and it's not enough. We ironically were, you know, attending some satsang late last night, and whosoever talked about Guruji, it was all about gratitude. And it is such a small word, but such a vast word that, you know, we are still understanding it, what gratitude means. I was actually telling my son today, like, you know, we have so much to thank about. And, you know, every day is a gratitude to Guruji. Every breath we are taking is a gratitude to Guruji. Now, coming back to, you know, some of the miracles which, of course, Guruji did. And, of course, you know, we being humans, we are always looking forward to some sort of connection, some sort of validation, and he doesn't fail you. Like a true father, you know, whatever mistakes I have been doing in my life, he is always there just to look at the good side of me. That's how I feel about Guruji. He will ignore the bad sides. He will make me realize where I'm wrong, but at the same time, he is always there to look at our good side. You know, Rashmi aunty has her own journey. I have my own journey. We have been having our own experiences. I'll just share few things about Guruji, and, you know, of course, my big connection was my first dream where Guruji truly came into my dream and really touched my soul, and that was miraculous. And, you know, I still get goosebumps when I think about that. I still cry every time I tell that story, so I'm not going to get into that one for sure. But, you know, after that, there has been so many things. COVID came in. My mom got sick during COVID, and doctors gave up. Doctors said she has probably 6 months. And that was like, we were going through, I think, citizenship at that time. I had given up my Indian passport. I did not have OCI. I was very worried, how would I travel and what will happen there, right? So, of course, Guruji puts people in your life, and he puts people who can help you out. My OCI came within no time. During COVID, I traveled to India 4 times. That's just miraculous. And every time I went to India, COVID was down. Every time I took a flight back, there was a wave of COVID, one thing or the other. And, you know, thanks to him, and my mom is actually going through Alzheimer. So I'm going to share a very small snippet about that. So, of course, you know, I was very worried. again, Guruji came into the dream. Me and him had some conversation. Most of the times when Guruji comes into my dreams, it has been 5, 6 times probably, but he had hardly talked to me twice. This was one time he talked to me and he told me certain things, and he told me that तेरी माँ चने बहुत खांदी सी, and उन चने पीस के, and he kept quiet after that. During the same dream, he actually, there was an uncle sitting outside Guruji's temple, and he told me, you have, तुम्हारे पास 10 रुपए कम है, पर माँ के लिए दवाई लेनी है तो ये दवाई ले लो. मैं कहा कोई गल नहीं, मैं ले लेता हूँ. And he actually told me name of a medicine in my dream. I'm not a doctor. No one in my family is a doctor. Next morning I Googled, that was medicine for Alzheimer. And that was shocking. And I'm like, seriously, but that was medicine under trial. It was Guruji's way of telling me that he is there, he's listening, he's watching her. And believe it or not, today, it has been 3 years, I think. She has not had any solid food. She has been just living on milk. And if you look at her videos, you won't believe it, that she actually walks normally. She can at least, take care of herself. She's on her own. She's probably going through just the 10% of it. She is not losing weight at all. She is maintaining her weight as well. And she hasn't been taking shower, but if you look at her, photos or videos, she looks as fresh as you can imagine. It's amazing, like when you look at her. So that's one part of the journey. The other part is I have my own connection with Guruji. I get a lot of messages through, number plates. I'm going to tell few funny stories like that maybe after Rashmi Aunty speaks, otherwise she is going to say I'm taking all the time. So I'm going to hand over to her first because, like Seema Aunty said, yin and yang, both of us need to have equal opportunity here. So over to you.
Thank you. Jai Guruji, Shukrana. I'll just share 2 small satsangs. As Ashwin said, कि हाँ हमारा connection है, and somehow number plates have played a big role, हमारे गुरुजी के साथ connection में. So 2017, back in 2017, अश्विन ने अपना कैल्शियम स्कोर कराया था क्योंकि कोलेस्ट्रॉल के नंबर्स बहुत बुरे आए थे. सो डॉक्टर पुनीत उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया कि गो फॉर द कैल्शियम स्कोर, एंड इवन इनके कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट ने भी बोला. सो वो भी बहुत बुरा आया, एंड डॉक्टर्स एडवाइज्ड हिम टू स्टार्ट विद स्टैटिन, विच इज़ हार्ट का मेडिसिन होता है, एंड इट्स फॉर लाइफ लॉन्ग. एंड अश्विन वाज लाइक कि नहीं, मैं डाइट से करूँगा, ये एक बार ही शुरू किया तो आई वोंट बी एबल टू लीव इट, और अदर साइड इफ़ेक्ट्स बहुत होते हैं इनके. सो ऐसा नहीं, आप अगर सब बोल रहे हैं, पुनीत ने भी सजेस्ट किया, आपके कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट ने भी बोला यू शुड गो फॉर इट. नहीं नहीं नहीं, मैं करूँगा डाइट से. ऐसा नहीं, मेरे को गुरुजी बोल रहे हैं कि आपको करना चाहिए. नहीं सर, नहीं, मेरे को गुरुजी बोल रहे हैं नहीं करना चाहिए. एंड द मोमेंट लाइक वी वर टॉकिंग, एंड हमारे सामने एक गाड़ी आती है और उसके ऊपर लिखा है गॉड 7. मैंने कहा देखो देखो, गुरुजी 7, मतलब गुरुजी का नंबर भी है और भगवान भी है. तो मेरे को मैंने बोला कि गुरुजी बोल रहे हैं करना है. बोलते हैं नहीं कि मैंने भी देखा तो गुरुजी मेरे को बोल रहे हैं नहीं करना है. ओके, नहीं किया. 2017 2022 लास्ट दिसंबर तक ही वाज डाइट इन बिटवीन किया, कोलेस्ट्रॉल लेवल्स डाउन आए, बट नो, इट्स नॉट ईजी फॉर पंजाबीज एट लीस्ट टू मेंटेन दैट डाइट. वी आर रियली बैड फॉर दैट. सो 2022 दिसंबर की छुट्टियों में लास्ट वीक ऑफ दिसंबर वी डिसाइडेड कि बच्चों के साथ कहीं गए नहीं हैं, लेट्स गो टू फ्लोरिडा. एमी मतलब कुछ नहीं है तो हमें लगता है फ्लोरिडा चले जाओ. तो 3 दिन के लिए वी हैड द ट्रिप. वी वेंट टू फ्लोरिडा. in Ashwin said कि we are not planning for any parks or anything. We'll just book a resort and we'll just relax there. So it so happened that resort was in the heart of the city, and within like few like walking distance पे, you name it, and the shop or the restaurant or everything is there. So I was like कि ये कैसा resort है ना, relaxing के लिए हमारा तो थोड़ा दूर होना चाहिए, secluded. So I didn't know what Guruji's plan was. हम जब रिजॉर्ट के रिटर्न से पहले देयर वाज अ बिग बिलबोर्ड जिसमें बहुत बड़ा बड़ा नंबर लिखा था, एंड नंबर हैड 7 sevens एट द एंड, एंड आई डोंट नो व्हाट द फर्स्ट 3 numbers वर, एंड किसके लिए था ये भी नहीं मुझे पता था. सो आई वाज लाइक ओके, गुरुजी इज शोइंग 7 sevens, एंड सो ही इज विद अस, सो ही हैज प्लान्ड. हम लोग 3 बजे सुबह पहुंचे थे. बाय द इवनिंग आई थिंक ही स्टार्टेड गेटिंग रेस्टलेस. He started saying कि मेरे shoulders में pain हो रहा है. I was like कि हम सोए नहीं हैं, probably that's why you are tired. He said okay, कोई नहीं. So धीरे धीरे that shoulder pain chest pain में बदल गया, the whole chest was congested, and it came to a point जहाँ पे अश्विन जो दवाई लेते नहीं है, he took a medicine कि मैं ले लेता हूँ शायद मेरा दर्द ठीक हो जाए, but it kept on increasing, like the pain was not going away, and he started like burping like crazy, big burps. तो I got worried. सारी रात he kept on walking कि I'm very uncomfortable, I cannot. So early morning I said no, that's it. We should go to urgent care. And I think that was the time even he couldn't bear the pain, and he said yes, we have to go. बच्चे सो रहे थे, हम दोनों अर्जेंट केयर गए. अर्जेंट केयर ने इनके सिम्टम्स पूछे, एंड दे सेड यू शुड रश टू इमरजेंसी, वी डोंट हैव द इक्विपमेंट्स हियर बिकॉज व्हाटएवर वी आर गोइंग टू टेल यू इट्स गोइंग टू हैपन इन इमरजेंसी ओनली. हम लोग इमरजेंसी गए. इमरजेंसी अर्जेंट केयर से इट वाज 1.6 miles, 7 minutes away. I wasn't worried. I was like, "Nee, Guruji is there with us." And we kept on going. हम emergency में आए. So out of the 3 days, एक दिन हमारा ऐसे ही गया. 2 दिन he was admitted in emergency, and doctors did every possible test because जो symptoms थे, they were all symptoms about angina. I don't want to say attack, because doctors in and out, they were doing the test, every possible test they could think of. They were repeatedly doing tests because what he was saying he was going through, the tests were coming negative. Name a test, it was coming negative. Be it EKG, be it dye test, be it any test, it was coming out negative. And somehow I was very patient there. And I remember the time when my brother was in the hospital, and I was very, very, impatient. And I see the change, and it was so. Though we were in hospitals, there were times we were taken care of. There were times nurses were not available. But somehow I think this journey brought us to a point where keeping patience. We realized at that time that there's no need to हवा मचाने का कि भैया अब डॉक्टर नहीं है तो नहीं है, we cannot do anything. But Guruji took care of him like anything. Our only worry was 31st. हमने ज़बरदस्ती उनसे अपना discharge लिया, that whatever it is, we want to go back to New Jersey. And if there is a procedure that is, if you guys are going to recommend, we want to get it done in New Jersey. We don't want to do it here. They held him for one last test कि अगर ये test भी negative आया, we'll discharge you, and otherwise we won't. You will go out of advice, like उनके medicinal advice के against you will take him out. But that test हुआ actually नहीं हुआ test, because he they kept him hungry till 2 p.m. and he was like, I cannot stay hungry beyond that, so I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna go. So हम लोग उसके बिना आए, but और यहाँ के भी टेस्ट कराया. All his tests were negative, though he had high cholesterol है, but statin शुरू किया finally. But the only thing is Guruji ने time to time he kept on showing us. इनकी nurse का नाम Grace था, and I was very, very वो नाम सुन के, या the way she was treating as if हमारी माँ ही खड़ी हो वहाँ पे. It was, I don't know, I was in a hospital, but the experience was actually beautiful, because I wasn't worried. I wasn't the same as last 6 years what I was earlier. But this is what Guruji has done. He had changed us all together. सब worries उनके ऊपर है. जब पता था अपने ऊपर नहीं है तो नहीं लिया attention. So thank you Guruji. Thank you.
Yeah, I will just conclude it soon. So we actually were, I was hospitalized for 29th and 30th of December. She didn't want me to dance here on 31st. I really had to push her. I'm like, no worries, Guruji will take care. Thanks to Guruji, dance bhi kara liya. And and after that, stress test bhi karwaya. All the symptoms were that I was under attack, but my heart is at least no damage to the heart, which is again, we are highly, highly grateful to Guruji. I'm just going to, share a few other small things which I have experienced. Okay, so one is, like Aunty said, we saw the car plate the other day, the Goat 7. So I generally pay attention to a lot of car plates, and it just, keeps on, showing me messages. So this is just 2 or 3 weeks back. I have plans to go to India next Saturday. And I was with her in the car, and again Shruti was there, and I was telling these people that I have planned my trip because I want to go to Dugri on March 5th. And we are talking this, and suddenly a car comes in front of me, and believe it or not, the number plate of the car is Dugri. And I'm like, wow, how can this be possible? And I have not seen that car before, but I'm sure someone in New Jersey has that car plate. Another small thing I will share that we connected to Guruji 2016. 2000, I think 19, because I was changing my jobs. I met a gentleman. सज्जन पुरुष से मेरी मुलाकात हुई, थोड़ी बातचीत हुई हमारी, और उन्होंने मेरे को मेरी लाइफ के बारे में कुछ बताया. उन्होंने मेरे को ये बताया कि मेरी लाइफ पे मेरी मम्मी का बहुत इम्पैक्ट है, मेरे बेटे का बहुत इम्पैक्ट है. मम्मी का नाम किससे शुरू होता है, बेटे का नाम किससे शुरू होता है. एंड ही आल्सो टोल्ड मी सडन अदर थिंग्स, एंड ही आल्सो टोल्ड मी तेरा बहुत अच्छा समय आने वाला है, और आने वाला समय बहुत अच्छा होगा. I came home, I actually called her right away. I said, someone met me and he told all this. And she's like, you met Guruji. I'm like, no way. I'm totally different that way. I'm like, no, that was not Guruji. He was a Punjabi guy, but he was not Guruji. And this happened in New Jersey, just to let you know. And we forgot that thing. 3 years later, 1 month back, we both are driving to Edison. And from Plainsboro to Edison, we are going for something. And we are talking. And I'm like, Rashmi, you remember I met that guy? And he told me my life is going to totally transform. And it did. Trust me, it did. And there was a big transformation in our life since then. And she's like, yes. And I'm telling her, do you think he was Guruji? Now I think maybe he was Guruji. And she is like, I told you he was Guruji. And believe it or not, right at that moment, a car comes in front of our car. And you know what the number plate was? You won't believe it. I am him. That was the number plate of the car. That was crazy. We went crazy after that. I can't believe seeing that number plate in my life. So thank you, Guruji. Thanks a lot for taking care of us, and happy Mahashivratri.
So the moral